Hey everyone, this is Bronwyn. Just me today, a short podcast. I'm going to start a series on shame. I just have so many thoughts that are coming to me that I really feel like are very powerful. And so today's is going to be a short segment, and it's going to be on shame in men in particular and what that plays out, how it plays out in relationships, and then how it impacts the rest of us and all of that. So here we go. So I want to say that men are not inherently different from women, but in Western society, they are socialized to be different than women, unfortunately. They are socialized not to cry or show any kind of vulnerable emotions as young boys, which creates shame. When a boy is told or even just shown with a facial gesture that their most vulnerable self is not acceptable, they feel inherently flawed. Shame is not an innate feeling, but a social construct that debilitates and exiles us from our true selves. Men associate their true selves, their vulnerable selves, with rejection, and that keeps them from knowing their own worth and value. Ironically, on the other hand, as a therapist, I see that many women, as young girls, were conditioned not to show anger, but they can show sadness and they can cry. And so what I see is that a lot of my clients cry and they're free to cry, but they're often angry tears because only tears are acceptable, ironically, with women. They're not, yeah, no one knows that they're angry, but they look sad, but they're actually angry tears. Many women are shamed by their display of anger as children, just like boys are shamed by vulnerable feelings like sadness as children, and the women learn to suppress it, which creates chronic anxiety for so many women. Shame makes us hide our true selves, keeping it a secret, even from ourselves, which is what we call denial. Shame and denial make it impossible to admit what is true, such as when a partner tells us they feel hurt by us. Instead, we hear blame and cannot validate their feelings or have insight into our behavior. Unfortunately, this is a very common dynamic that I see in couples where the man can't hear the woman's hurt because it triggers his shame. He often gaslights her by accusing her of blaming him or of provoking him in other ways that make her worthy of her pain. I do think there is hope for men who can admit their shame and unlearn it. And if I could, I would lead every single man who fits this description, which I think is every single man in Western society, in what I call a shame exercise, in which they allow themselves to revisit an early memory that serves as an imprint for them of being shamed by a parent for their vulnerability, and then see that their vulnerability was not, in fact, shameful at all, but normal and healthy for any child, regardless of gender. In their imagination, they would put all their shame in a big cardboard box and give it back to the parent and say, return to owner. You know what? I realize this is not, in fact, mine. This is yours. Me crying, me showing vulnerability is not shameful, but you treating my vulnerability as though it's shameful is your shame. I believe there is hope for men if they are able to humble themselves and listen to their partners. If they can let go of the idea that their partner is trying to shame them, but realize she is just wanting to be understood so that the painful behaviors stop repeating. If men can push themselves past the lie of shame, because it is a lie, and hear what their partner is communicating, then there's hope. In fact, myself as a Judeo-Christian, I believe the tikkun olam, which is a Hebrew phrase for the ushering in of the age to come, when heaven comes to earth, will happen when men learn to listen to women. And when parents learn to listen to their children, it will be the inversion of the old paradigm and the old power dynamic. Listening does not equate to passively yielding. It will not be the reinstatement of a new power dynamic where women and children are in control. Rather, it will be the embodiment of sharing power, from speaking and listening and collaborating, where everyone has a voice. It will be a paradigm of unity in diversity versus homogeneity or hierarchy. Men, listen to your woman. When you get frustrated and yell, "I don't know what you want from me," know that what she wants is more of you, the real you, your deepest feelings and thoughts trapped inside you. This is the highest compliment anyone could give you. She does not want less of you or a change in your core self, but more. When you learn to open up and share your real self with her, you will find more comfort and reassurance than you do from sex, and it will be more beautiful. When you learn to trust your partner with your true self, she won't reject you like perhaps your mother did. She won't be turned off by your tears or your pain, but she will hold you and comfort you. Let her. Let go. Move toward your feelings and toward your partner. It will save your relationship, but most of all, it will save you. It will undo the shame, and you will be free. Parents, listen to your children. You will not have to demand that they respect you when you earn their respect by listening to them and showing that you care. When you listen with the goal to understand versus to win, you will both win because it's not a competition. Love is not a contest. What your children have to say matters. And when you listen to them with the goal to understand them, it communicates to them that they matter to you. If you don't listen, you communicate that they don't matter. And there is no way around this. Children need to feel seen and heard. They need to matter to their parents. If you don't give that to them, they will look for it elsewhere, especially from their peers, and it will be compulsive, and they will betray themselves in the process. How on earth can you expect them to succeed in life if you don't give them the one thing they need most? Your attunement. If not, you sent them up for failure for a lifetime. It doesn't matter that you put food on the table and a roof over their head. It doesn't matter that you schlep them to extracurricular activities or sports or provide a college fund. What matters is that they know that they matter to you, their real core self, that they feel known by you, that they feel seen by you, that they are heard by you. And the only way to do this is to listen. There is no shortcut and there is no alternative. There is a quote I love. It's by an anonymous author, but I'm going to share it. It says, "Being listened to is so close to being loved, most people can't tell the difference." Men, listen to your woman. Parents, listen to your children. What heals and what brings tikkun olam, the age to come where heaven comes to earth, is love. Thanks for listening today. Feel free to subscribe to my podcast, Angry at the Right Things. Feel free to leave a 5-star review and please share this with a friend.